Howdy gamers, it's Dan from GameReviewsAU, and today I'm going to be showing you Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Yes, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I played this on PS4, and I played it in co-op mode, split screen, and yeah, let's get into it and have a look. So in my opinion, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a really good game, but it's as good as all of the other Borderlands games. The only thing I find different about it is the aesthetic and the funny world map with the bobbleheads. So basically it takes the same gameplay style as all of the Borderlands games, but the only major difference is the character that you get to create. You get to go through a pretty intense like role-playing game character creation thing. You choose how they look, and then you give them stat points, you choose their class and whatnot, and so on and so forth. So after quite a while of doing this, you'll be able to start playing the game. And the game is laid out in kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons like game. So Tiny Tina, she is the game master, and you are playing in a make-believe world that she controls. It's quite a linear game. There are little things that you can move aside to accomplish, like, not really side quests, but little extra parts that you can explore. But overall, the whole game is quite linear. You just follow one path to do the main thing. I mean, yeah, Borderlands games, they did have a bit of that linearity to it. However, I felt that the open world aspect of them, it broke that up, because you could go exploring a bit more. You could go rerun dungeons and stuff. Yes, you can do that in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, but it does feel more just straight-laced. You just follow where you're meant to go, knock down the bottle caps to make it easier to access previous parts of the map. And then you go in and you fight dudes. So instead of coming across the usual bandits and the racks and I forget the other names, the little sand monster running around thingies, you'll come across skeletons and zombies and spiders and dragons and whatnot. So that part's kind of cool. If you enjoyed Borderlands but you always wanted to try it in a fantasy style game, this is it. However, the weapons are not very fantasy-esque. You still have your usual machine guns, sniper rifles, shotguns and whatnot. There are a few new little things thrown into the mix, such as crossbows and different types of melee weapons. So instead of just having your usual melee attack, you can choose what weapon you can have. You'll pick up a sword, you might have an axe, you might have a hammer, etc. You also gain access to spells. So these kind of act kind of like the grenades that you had in Borderlands, but instead they're spells, and they're kind of impressive how they work. Some spells might just shoot a couple of projectiles out, others might pull down a massive meteor onto your enemies, others might send out a burst of red stuff that goes and attacks enemies and then branches off to other ones. And yeah, it's quite impressive to see, quite impressive to use, and it makes you feel that power. Each class also has access to multiple abilities and talent trees, and they will do the same sort of things as you remember the classes to do in Borderlands. Reload speeds faster, extra melee damage, etc, etc. So yeah, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, it's quite nice to look at. On the PS4 it really struggled to display nicely. A lot of the words were so low resolution that you couldn't read them whatsoever. I had to sit quite close to the TV in order to try and work out what the words said, but in the end I just gave up and just picked things up and shot with them and played the game. I didn't worry about reading stuff. I just did things. It's quite a fun game. As I said, as fun as a Borderlands game is, and that is quite fun if you've never dove into a Borderlands game, because it was too sci-fi ish for you, then Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, it has the fantasy style that you might be looking for. I'm going to give Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, it's about between 3 and 4 out of 5 stars. I won't say 3.5 because, yeah, I don't like doing half measures. So yeah, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands on PS4. Quite a good game, but I feel that they're playing it safe and they're keeping too close to the original formula. I think they need to mix things up a bit more. I think they could have moved in a different direction. I don't think they need to make it so similar to all the other Borderlands games. I'd like to see something new. New and unusual. That'd be cool. If you like this review, please hit the thumbs up button down below. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and if you do so, choose to do so, leave a comment down below. See you next time.
Good thing I finally learned how to read.